Hey guys, this is Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 169, The Culture Festival. Now this was a very different chapter to what we've seen before, exploring almost entirely the interactions between Class 1A and the people within Class 1A. And it was kind of good to see, as it feels like some of the lesser known characters are about to get more screen time, which is always good, because in all honesty, I'm not sure if this counts for the rest of you guys, but for me especially, I realized that I didn't even know half of the names of the class's names. I'm just like, who the hell is this guy? Like, I've seen him before, but I didn't know Jiro's name. I didn't know what's his name, Kuda. I didn't know his name, and even the darkness guy, the edge lord dude. I forgot his name. I knew it was Fumikage something, but I forgot his name. So a lot of these guys, it's just because they're not at the forefront of the series, we forget their names, and especially me, if you're not part of the main story, I'm gonna forget your name big time. So yeah, so it's good for me to see, but in essence, it was kind of a slow chapter, and for that reason, it's not going to score highly, but it was decent, and there were some areas of progression which I liked. And mentioning progression, we do see some progression in terms of these characters and who they are and what they like to do. So it's more of a character building chapter rather than a story progressing chapter, even though the story does progress a little bit. So we start off with Mina breakdancing. So she's just breakdancing, and it was freaking hilarious when Aoyama and Deku joined in. I was like, what the hell's going on? Did I miss the chapter? Why are they breakdancing? And why does Deku look so stiff? And Aoyama's just like, he's just trying his best, and he's like breaking a neck trying to do the breakdance. I was like, yo, okay. And they were just doing this two-step as well. So I was like, what the hell? And then for me, this entire chapter, Mineta was the silent MVP for me. Like, he was just killing it this chapter, just shouting out random shit. So I was laughing my ass off when Mina was breakdancing, and he's there like, why are you wearing a skirt? I was like, what the fuck? So he was funny, man. I was laughing my ass off. And throughout this chapter, a lot of the people on Reddit, especially the people on Reddit, jeez, I mean, people were getting hype about all the shipping and shit this chapter, and I was like, especially with Kaminari and Jiro, whose name I didn't even remember this chapter. I was like, oh yeah, she's the girl with the jacks that pop out of her hair or something. So I gotta admit, I'm nowhere near as interested or invested about ships as a lot of people are on Reddit. I'm just here for the story. I couldn't care less who was shipped off with who. If it happens at the end, it happens at the end. If there's like some minor shipping, like you can tell that these two people like each other, like Uraraka and freaking Deku, that's fine, that's cool. But this whole like pushing for a ship thing, I'm like, nah, I'm not. I don't really give a shit. These guys, they're kids. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm just here for the story of how these guys develop into better heroes. So Aizawa then comes in and tells the class that they have a culture festival, much like a normal Japanese school. We didn't get that where I was from, trust me. So our boy Kirishima is aware that this may be a waste of time. You know, he's really, really laser focused after his fight with Rappa, I think it was. And he wants to become that guy who's unbreakable, untouchable, which is why he's been training with Bakugo. And he wants Deku and everyone who's powerful enough, Sato even, to just wreck him essentially. And he's aware that he doesn't have too much time to grow because of the exponential growth of the villains. And he mentions that, and Aizawa's like, no, you gotta understand that UA isn't just a hero academy. We have other sets of students here. This is for this whole culture festival, like the sports festival was for the heroes and the aspiring heroes, and everyone wants to try and get in with the best branches of heroism. This is for the support, education, and management sectors, and it will also allow the young aspiring heroes to blow off some steam, organizing something for their cohorts, for their companions, and for their colleagues. So it's just something nice to do essentially. So in typical school manga fashion, the class presidents try to gather their class to pick the theme of their festival. Now this has happened in so many mangas that I've lost count, and I'm just like, how many of these have I read? And then I realized that, was Bleach a school manga? What the frick? And then I'm just like, it gets me down a confusing road. So let's not go into that. But yeah, so they have this whole theme selection thing, and we had some funny responses, especially once again my boy Mineta. He's just going in. He's like, titty boy. I was like, what? And his face when he made that response, the guy is desperate for just some action or some connection with someone. And his face, he looks rabid. I'm just like, yo, this guy. So as you'd expect, a conclusion was not reached, and they have to meet up. The kids will meet up again in their dorm room by the looks of things. So here they discuss further until Todoroki seconds Mina's idea. He's like, yeah, that dance idea sounds good, let's get this thing going. So it turns out they're going to party like it's 1999, and Mina's dance idea is going to be coupled along with like Jiro's performing, due to Jiro performing some sort of musical thing, due to Kaminari's insistence and the class's request. They were just like, you gotta do it, and she was like, oh, okay, cool. And people were getting hype about Kota speaking, but in all honesty, like people are invested in him, and for that I'm fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, if you're invested in him, that's cool. Maybe you liked something about him, maybe you like his design, maybe you like his abilities, maybe you like that he's the quiet type. But I have personally zero reason to be invested or interested in him right now. So I'm kind of like a nope on Kota right now. I'm just like, he's just there. I don't need to mind him so much. He hasn't done anything for me right now, so I'm not really hype about him. The hype thing though was at the end of the chapter. This whole culture festival needs to go pear-shaped. Otherwise, just giving us a normal school festival is going to be a bit like, that's not what we read this manga for. We read it for the when tits go up, you know. So it'll be a bit of a waste if things don't go pear-shaped. So some Reddit users have speculated that the face we see at the end of the chapter may be Mr. Compress. Now, it's true that he used to be a performer. He does mention that at some point in one of the past chapters, and he was a performer in the past, but what's the significance? This is the key part. Unless they invite his ass over without doing like a full DPS check on his ass, there's no point in seeing him in the video, because it's not like he's going to pop up to UA unless they don't they don't utilize a DPS check on him or some shit like that. So I was like, yeah, it's cool that he's there, but I don't really like, if it is him, what's the point, you know? So yeah, overall a decent chapter. That was the entirety of the chapter just then, and it's been like 7 minutes, but not too much progression in terms of story. But it was more of a character building chapter, so I appreciate that. It was solidifying side characters like Kuda, like Kaminari, Jiro, even Yao Yorozu and Ida got some screen time this chapter. So I was like, yeah, this is so cool. And Mineta obviously just going in, being desperate as hell. So yeah, that character building, I appreciate that. That's good. But it wasn't really story progressing, and nothing much really happened in terms of the story. So I can only give it like a 3 maximum out of 5 really. So I still don't get. Let me know, actually. I have one solid question out of the whole of this chapter, which was, why was Jiro so pissy at the beginning of the chapter? Maybe I missed something. Maybe something just went over my head, because Kaminari is insisting that she shows her awesome skills as a musician, and she's obviously, she doesn't want to show it because she doesn't believe it's a heroic thing to have as a hobby, you know, being an aspiring hero, and she doesn't believe that she's invested like so much of her mind to it that it's something that she's pro level at. It's just a hobby, which is what she wants the others to see it as. And then when he's like, oh, you're good at music or something like that, then she's like, okay, yeah, cool. And I was like, that's essentially what he was saying to begin with, you know. So what was the issue? Why were you so pissy beforehand? Maybe you guys understood it more than I will, so or maybe more than I have. So let me know what that was about in the comments. So that's basically it. Let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Let me know what you thought of the review. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow when I should release the One Punch Man review for the last chapter. So I'll see you guys then.